Hey guys, it's a little Saturday back and biceps workout day. Hope everyone has an awesome weekend. I want to share two quick thoughts here. And this is a shout out to Chase in our tribe, who's a high performing exec who had just some awesome commentary on our weekly dialogue. And I wanted to comment collectively for everyone's benefit. The first is around A1Cs and type 2 diabetes, blood sugar. And then a quick thought that I just shared on a LinkedIn post on momentum. So what some of you notice as you get your blood work tested is sometimes your A1C, your blood sugars levels are not quite optimal. And some of you actually have kind of a freak out moment or a wake up moment where you realize you might be pre-diabetic. And this would be type 2 diabetes. And what the research shows is that type 2 diabetes, A1C blood work is pretty much 95% preventable with correct nutrition and exercise principles. So I just wanted to comment on this. So first of all, some of you guys, you love data, you geek out on analysis in this, and you get a CGM device, which is a continuous glucose monitoring device that connects to the arm, and it's literally measuring your blood glucose levels like around the clock. And it's a really fun, interesting exercise for some of you to do because you get to see when your blood sugar is spiking. And this is an aspect, the hormonal aspect of your fat loss, your weight journey, that is often underlooked because everyone knows eat less, eat less, exercise more. That's how you lose weight. But that's woefully inadequate for actual health transformation. So then you start diving into glucose monitoring and what's causing it to spike. And I want to comment just briefly on how the tribe principles can make a massive difference here. Some of the 80-20 of this. What are the 20% of activities that can make a massive difference in you fixing A1Cs, getting your blood glucose where it needs to be? One of these is intermittent fasting. And it basically is as simple as when we are eating less frequently, time-restricted window, we are spiking our blood sugar less. And that gives our chance a body to kind of break from digestion. There's less insulin spikes, and you have more stable blood sugar, which keeps you in fat burning mode more frequently. Okay, so don't discount the power of intermittent fasting. Quick anecdotal story. My dad, this dates back probably 8 years ago. He was in his mid-60s. Doctor said, "You're pre-diabetic, Ron," and that shocked him. And he knew the negative consequences of diabetes. We started talking more about health. I said, "Dad, you should try intermittent fasting." That's all he did. He started walking more. He started intermittent fasting. He didn't really clean up his nutrition that much. And the rest is history. He has pretty much got out of warning blood sugar pre-diabetes mode just with that one change. So do not discount how powerful that is over the long haul. Additionally, what a lot of you have found as you've done your CGM monitoring is when you have fibrous food, kind of first with a meal, fiber, protein, and then you save basically your carbs last. Again, this is sort of anecdotal, but the science says we coat our stomach with a small lining of fiber basically, and it helps slow down digestion and keeps blood sugar more stable. So that's why one of the reasons why we talk about having fresh fruits, fresh vegetables, wholesome grains that are high in fiber. That's huge for keeping your blood sugar more stable. It doesn't have to be every meal, but it does make a difference. And if you're monitoring your glucose, I think that's what you'll find. Several of you who have done CGM have also commented when you go for a walk after a large meal, say lunch or dinner, even if it's a brief walk, you've commented to me privately or with your coaches, and you've said, it's amazing how going for a short walk, how quickly it helps bring back down blood sugar because the body is doing something with those calories. So that's kind of an interesting insight. Another insight, and this is kind of a weak area for a lot of people in the tribe, you tend to do cardio or historically have, but weight training, strength training has been a neglected area. And again, this is just kind of my simple insight on this. When we are doing weight training or body weight exercises, we are using sugar in the muscles called glycogen. We are literally using that up. And then at some point down the road, our body has to replenish that glycogen. And so the science says that doing resistance training, even 3 times a week, let's say 20 to 30 minutes a time, so we're talking an hour a week of resistance training, that helps with insulin sensitivity. It helps this mechanism of A1C, of blood sugar stability. It helps you like reset that and get that back on track. So I hope that here's 4 or 5 different areas that can help you with this. Intermittent fasting, prioritizing fiber, walking after a meal potentially, doing weight training. And then I also would maybe add trying to, for the most part, avoid white carbs, what we call flash carbs, sugar. You don't have to totally cut that out of the diet, but trying to limit that so that we're not spiking our blood sugar as much. And also moderating carbs. We're not saying 20 grams of carbs a day. We're saying 100 or 125 grams a day. That's way different than keto or Atkins or other extreme programs. But when we're having carbohydrates, they're good. Let's moderate those and let's have those be high quality. That has a big impact on blood sugar. All right, so that's a crash course on type 1 or type 2 diabetes, blood sugar, the things that can make a big difference on A1Cs and your longevity, etc. I'm going to close with this additional thought on momentum and morale. I did a LinkedIn post on this. The guys who stay in shape long term aren't doing anything extreme. They just refuse to fully stop when life gets messy. So remember that. If you're burning the candle at both ends, if you're overwhelmed by work, if you're feeling discouraged, if you're feeling stressed, the answer here is not to stop your health journey or to give up. The answer here is you just refuse to quit and you're still going to do something to keep moving forward, even though life might be messy. That is the battle that every single one of us has to pay. There's no way to outsource that. Thanks for being on this path with us and for your trust and confidence.